неверной капризной, дни бегут не стоит.
Imagine a beautiful lake full of life that suddenly turns into a disaster, all because of one giant fish. This is what happened to Lake Victoria, a lake that was once home to hundreds of species and millions of small fish became nearly empty, all because of one decision made decades ago. In the 1950s, someone decided to add a giant fish to the lake. It sounded like a good idea, but it turned into a nightmare. This one fish ate almost everything else in the lake. Hundreds of local fish disappeared forever. The people who lived there lost their food and got poorer. Lake Victoria is the biggest lake in Africa. It's even larger than some countries. It sits between Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. For hundreds of years, families who lived along its shores caught many kinds of small, colorful fish called cichlids. There were over 500 different types, each with its own colors and habits. Fishermen used simple boats and nets. They caught just enough to feed their families and sell a little in local markets. Life was simple. People had food every day. Then, in 1954, British scientists made a decision. They wanted to help the fishing business grow. They thought the lake needed a bigger, stronger fish that could be sold for more money to other countries. So they brought in the Nile perch, a fish from the Nile River that can grow over 6 feet long and weigh as much as a grown man. They released baby perch into the lake, believing it would be a great improvement. At first, nothing much changed. The perch was slow to spread, but by the 1980s, something big happened. Suddenly, fishermen started pulling out huge Nile perch, one after another. The catches grew fast. Factories sprang up all around the lake, especially in the town of Mwanza in Tanzania. Big machines cut the fish into clean fillets. Planes loaded with ice carried those fillets to Europe and other places. Restaurants served fresh perch, and Tanzania earned millions of dollars every year. For a while it looked like success. Jobs appeared, roads were built. Some people got richer, but underwater something terrible was taking place. The Nile perch is a powerful hunter. It has a huge mouth and sharp teeth. It eats almost anything it can catch. Small fish, baby fish, crabs, even birds that swim on the surface. And in Lake Victoria, it had no natural enemies. The perch grew fast and had many babies. Soon, they were everywhere. One by one, the small native fish started to vanish. Over 200 kinds of cichlids, more than half of all the types that lived there, disappeared completely. Some scientists say up to 300 species were lost forever. The beautiful variety of the lake was gone. The balance that had existed for thousands of years was broken. When the small fish died out, the whole lake changed. Without the little fish eating algae, the water became thick and green. Oxygen levels dropped. Dead zones appeared where almost nothing could live. The clear blue water turned cloudy and smelled bad in some places, and the people felt it too. Before the perch came, families ate the small fish they caught every day. Those fish were cheap and easy to dry in the sun. Now, the only fish left in large numbers was the big Nile perch, but most of it was too expensive for local people. The best parts, the clean white fillets, were packed on ice and flown straight to airports in Europe. What stayed behind were the heads, bones, and skins. Workers in the factories dried those scraps in the sun. Flies covered them, but hungry families still bought them because there was little else. Factory workers stood for long hours cutting fish. They earned very little, sometimes less than $1 a day. Many were women who had to support children alone. Life around the lake became harder. Fishermen had to go farther out and stay longer to catch anything. Some used smaller nets to catch baby perch, making the problem worse. Diseases spread more easily. Many young men died early. Families broke apart. One young woman named Eliza worked near the airport in Mwanza. She was bright and full of dreams. She spent time with the foreign pilots who flew the cargo planes. She hoped for a better life, but one day she was stabbed and killed by one of those pilots. No one was ever punished. Her friends gathered and cried together, remembering her laugh and her kindness. Life just continued as if nothing had changed. In 2004, a documentary was made about the life of the people. The director of the documentary, Hubert Salper, spent years living in Mwanza to make Darwin's Nightmare. He used a small camera and filmed real people in their daily lives. No actors, no scripts. He talked to fishermen who worked all night, factory workers covered in fish blood, homeless children, pilots from far away, and women waiting at the airport. He showed the truth quietly but powerfully. When the movie came out, it opened people's eyes around the world. The Nile perch didn't just destroy the lake, it changed lives forever. Rich enjoyed affordable fish on their tables. Families living right next to the lake faced hunger and dirty water. Factories poured waste straight back into the lake, the same water people used for drinking and cooking. Children grew up without parents. Streets filled with kids who had nowhere to go. Fishermen risked their lives in storms, yet still came home with empty nets. Even today, the effects continue. Too many perch are caught every year, so even this big fish is becoming harder to find. Scientists worry the lake may never fully recover. The beautiful ecosystem from long ago is gone forever. Is there any hope for recovery? Scientists and local groups are working to protect what is left. Some are trying to bring back native fish species in safe areas. Others teach fishermen better ways to catch fish without harming the lake. Communities have started small projects like growing vegetables or raising chickens to have other sources of food and income. New rules try to stop harmful fishing. Some factories clean their waste better. People are learning to care for the lake again. Change is slow, and there is still a long way to go, but it is possible. But what do you think? Is there any hope for recovery? Thank you for watching. If this story moved you or surprised you, please drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more true stories like this. See you in the next one. The Uncovered.